Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today is day 144 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. Today we are going to be playing with something a little bit different. We're going to play with some pressed flowers. I will link my source, plus I have a discount code, a wholesale code for you guys for these. These are all pressed dried flowers. I will link and give all of that information, but there's a bunch of very pretty dried flowers here. So we're going to play with those. I've got a bunch of scraps out of my scrap bin. I've got these handy little tweezers. I've got a laminator and some laminating pouches. And what we're going to be making are laminated clusters with dried flowers. Now, these can be made into many different things after you've laminated them. I will talk about that, and I will let you know that we're going to do a couple of projects with the laminator before I put it back in its box and put it away. I will link a better laminator. What I have here is a 12 by 12 laminator. It is massive, takes up too much desk space. What you guys are going to want is an 8.5 by 11 laminator. They're very inexpensive on Amazon. I will link the better one down below, and I will give all the information for everything else I've got here on the table. So let's go ahead and get started with this project. So first of all, everything hinges on your dried flowers. Dried flowers are not all done equally well, so some of them are done dried better than others. I have a source. It's called NaturesPressed. They make beautiful, very high quality. Sometimes they're edible, sometimes they're not. It depends on what you're looking for. But anyway, NaturesPressed flowers. And so I've got a wholesale code for you guys. The code is wholesale 2025. It gives you a very big discount off of their regular price for their packs of dried flowers. So you can get dried flowers. And the reason why I like this company is two, one, they're the best quality. Two, they last the longest in your projects. They don't instantly crumble and break. They're dried very professionally, like, artist quality, not just mass quality or mass quantity kind of thing that you find on Amazon every day. Plus, they have the widest selection of flowers that I've ever seen anyone carry. So if you're looking for a specific flower, chances are they have it. If you're looking for something where, you're looking for a certain color palette, they've got that too. They also do a bunch of assorted packs as well as individual flowers. So this is a pack of all the same type of flower. And so they've got a big variety there. And in truth, I have hundreds of their packs of flowers. And I also like that they come in these resealable little plastic cases to keep all of your flowers organized. These are actually a dark purple or blue. They're not really showing up on camera. But anyway, we're going to play with a bunch of these. I have lavender, I have a whole ton of things to play with. But we're going to play with dried flowers. And you can just laminate dried flowers. We'll do that first. So just talk about basic lamination. Then we will talk about making some clusters and laminating those with the dried flowers. So I'm just going to slide the scraps off to the side today. And what we're going to work with are lamination pouches. They're not all created equal either. I will link the Scotch brand below. The Scotch brand is the best brand, and also they're very inexpensive. You get like a huge pack of them for next to nothing. So you're going to want lamination pouches. These are 8.5 by 11 size. This is the size I like to work with. I have a 12-inch laminator because I used to laminate scrapbook pages. I don't do that anymore. So lamination pouches, they have a side that is sealed and a side that is open. If I can find where mine are open at, that would be helpful. Okay, so they're open on one end right here, and they're closed on the other end. That is the end that you're going to feed it through your machine starting with. So the sealed end, leave that at the top. You'll notice that they are kind of transparent, but a little frosted on both sides. They're a little frosted, and that's where the lamination magic happens. So you're just going to peel it up, open it up, just like that. Try not to touch it. Try not to do anything with it if you can avoid it. Mine's wanting to close on me, so I do have to touch it there. But we're going to lay out some flowers. And the first thing that we're going to do is just laminate just a random mix of flowers. Doesn't really matter what mix we do, but let's just do it. It's easier to show you as we go. So as you open up your package, then you're going to take your little tweezers. The best tool for working with dried flowers is tweezers, because you want something very very precise and delicate when you're like picking these up. So in this pack, it's just a random mix of things. And there's some really delicate ferns back here in the back. So let's grab a fern and place that down. Here's a little rosebud. Leave that little rosebud there. Let's grab this. I don't know, whatever this is stuck here to the front. So let's grab that and we'll put that guy in there. Then we have these little things. I love working with those. Some of my favorite. We're going to grab whatever else is in here and we're just going to lay a couple of things down. Like here's part of a fern. We'll lay that in there. It's kind of big. I'm going to do it sideways. I don't even care that it's sideways. Let's grab this little daisy. There's that. And maybe we want a couple of these here. One going one way and one going the other way. That looks pretty good. Slide one up, one down. Okay, perfect. I've got some cute little things in this mix. Here's a little, I think these are called Queen Anne lace. I'm not sure. Again, I live in Arizona. We don't have flowers. Okay, so I'm just moving the rest of these so I can close it back up. And we're going to get some other flowers. Let's see what we have in this mix here. Let's do a couple of these. So these are longer stem ones. So a lot of times when you get dried flowers, you get just like the daisy heads, but you don't get any stems. This company also has items that have long stems on them. And I like that because oftentimes when we're making things for journals, we want them to have some height to them. So again, you can flip them over, maneuver them where you want them. So I'm just going to do this one. I'm going to slide it down just a little bit just to give myself some room here. So I'm going to laminate that. Okay, I like that. Let's grab this guy out and let's tuck him over here. And we'll put this guy back on top. So you're just doing some flower, just some flower clusters, really. We're going to do clusters with paper here in just a minute, but we'll get some flowers down. Let's see what else we have. Okay, so next I've got whatever these are called. I don't know. But again, they have a long stem. And again, sometimes we want some height with our dried flowers. So here's a very long stem. That will be beautiful. We'll put that one in here. Love it. I'm going to slide this one over. I just don't need all that room. And so wherever you leave them, that's where they're going to be when you laminate them. Or at least that's the goal. You don't want them to move. So I am trying to arrange those a little bit. Okay, let's do just one of those super long ones. And what else do we have? We have another long version. This guy here. And so we're just going to grab out a couple of these. Let's do this one in with this. So I need that little Queen Anne lace out of there for just a moment. And then we're going to put this stem to the back and that on the top. Perfect. And that right there. Love that one. There we go. We could do a little blue here. I like that. All right, so there's some blue. What else do we have to play with? I have this mixed pack. Inside of here, I want this, like, I think this is called biscuit root. It's an herb. It went flying. It's all right. I can retrieve. There we go. So there's that. And then let's maybe do this little guy down here at the bottom. And maybe one of these little purple flowers. Ooh, that's a cluster of purple. Let's do it anyway, if I can get it out up there. So we'll have our biscuit root off to this side, these down at the bottom, and our purple right there. Ooh, there's two there. Okay, that makes sense. So there's our purple and our biscuit root. And there's one of those guys. Okay, so we have a lot going on there. I'm not going to add anything to this long one. I want that long one just to be by itself, so she says, until I see what this guy is back here. Yeah, just that long purple one by itself. Pinkish purple. So let's close that up. Now we're ready to make sure everything is where we want it on our page. I'm fairly happy with it. I prefer not to use your fingers because the oil from your fingers, but I did move that one. And now I'm going to seal this closed just by rolling it back over on itself. I'm going to flip on my laminator. Now I have preheated my laminator, but it does make noise, so you will hear it, you know, making its noises. We're going to let this get ready. It will tell me when it is ready again. I have preheated it, so it won't take forever. And then we're going to run this through and do it. And then from there, we're going to build some clusters. So these I will use for a different decoration, a different element in a junk journal. And then I will do some with paper that I will use for a different purpose. So I'm just waiting for that ready light to come on. When it comes on, we're going to start running this through. Again, you want to run your lamination pouches through at the top where they're sealed. That's where you put it into your machine at. Most of these machines, you feed it through the back of the machine and it will come out here in the front. And it has been forever since I've used this laminator. So you can laminate anything. You could laminate fabrics, you could laminate laces, you could laminate all different manner of things. The thing to keep in mind is lamination works best with flat items. The fabric and stuff like that is fine. You just don't want to laminate something that is very thick because you will see the air bubble around it because the lamination pouch can't suck and seal all that air out of there. So there's that. Let's go ahead and pick out some pieces to work with for our clusters as we're waiting for that ready light to come back on. The goal of preheating it was that we didn't have to wait, but apparently we will be waiting a few seconds. So we're just going to choose pieces. They can be rough torn, they can be rectangle, doesn't really matter. But we're going to just choose some random pieces of scraps. They could be digitals that are printed like this. It doesn't matter. Now with lamination, you will see both sides. So I prefer to use things that are double-sided just because you will see the back side. So I'm going to start out with some little rectangles like this. I will start building some clusters up there to speed us along once this gets started. So just looking through here and seeing what I have, like stuff like this is great. You can tear it into smaller pieces, have that rough torn edge. Even something completely jaggedy like that works, so that's fine. We'll do this one as well. That's great. Okay, so we've got several up there. Let's see what else we can fit on this page. So just like we do regular paper clusters, you might want to layer several layers on top of each other. It's up to you. I am going to layer them down here for this guy, right like that. That's good. So we're going to do a little cluster like that. And then the other thing to keep in mind is, you know how we do, little bits of doily for decoration in our junk journals. You can do that little bit of doily in your lamination pouches also. And I do have a lot of finished examples, which I will show. So I'm just going to finish off this doily and we're going to get some pieces there. And let's see about this one. There, let's just do them very simple and we'll just do 4 to keep that going there. All right, so the other thing to keep in mind is you might want to laminate your onion skin. Onion skin is kind of transparent to begin with. You can see my fingers back there. So we might want to do some onion skin scraps, or you could just lay your dried flowers on a piece of onion skin paper just like this, and then you'll have them, the whole sheet, to cut up later. So we'll do a pouch just like this with dried flowers. Okay. So that's still preheating, which I thought it was going to be ready, but it's not. So let's go ahead and grab another pouch and we'll do another one. And then we'll run these all through at the end, I guess. So find where your pouch opens. There we go. Just like that. I'm going to lay my little scraps in there. And then we'll pick out some flowers and we'll do 4 little clusters. And if you're using a laminator, you do want to keep in mind that laminators can get hot on the bottom. And if you're using it on top of your craft mat, it is possible that it may, I said may, it may warp your craft mat. So just be sure that you know whether or not yours is going to be heat safe or it's going to make your craft mat warped. Just, you know, FYI. I may or may not have learned that the hard way with a craft mat years ago. Okay, so there I've got 4 pieces on there. Let's put some flowers on these as we are waiting. I didn't use these dark purple, I don't know if these are daisies or bachelor's buttons or what they're called, but so let's do those. That is such a beautiful one. Let's do that right on there. So I think you guys get how delicate and beautiful these can become. I don't know if we want to do another one. I guess we've got this guy sticking up here. Let's do another one just like that. I think he needs a longer stem or something else. We'll play with that. But anyway, there's 2 of those. Still not ready and humming away. Sorry for the hum. It does what it does. All right, let's see. Do we want any of these? Let's see what else we want. Ooh, I love the blue with the blue. Let's do the blue on this old blue. The light just came on. On this old blue French letter, let's do one of these blue. I forget what these are called. Salvia, maybe? We might need to trim the stem of that. That might be just a little too long of a stem. Still love it. Let's get one of these little white flowers out of here. So keep working with your clusters. Let's do this guy right here. I like to have a little bit of green if I can get it in there. We'll rearrange that a little. And as long as you can close yours without pinching anything, you're good. Here we go. Okay, so we have one down here with nothing. There's something kind of purple in this. This is a mix, so I'm not sure what the actual flowers are, but there's something kind of purple down here. That's pretty sweet, actually. And I think I might like it maybe there. That's a good place for that. Okay, well, let's find something different to stick on this last one. Something different. I have a pansy. Is this a pansy or a violet? I think this is a pansy. This is what I would call a pansy, but I'm not sure what it's actually called. Okay, how about that for right there? I think we can live with that. So let's run these through. So we're going to close our little lid. We might need to do a little bit of rearranging just because we have like everything right on top of each other here. And I want to break off this little stem. Here we go. And I think we could do a little better with this arrangement as well. So same thing as decorating, just do what looks good to your eye. I prefer not to use my fingers, but I am for speed's sake here. And this one I love just as it is. I think this might be upside down. No, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it right like that. Okay, so we're sealing this one. Nothing moved. We're good. Let's run these through and we will take a peek at them. So I'm going to slide both of them over. And I'm going to move my machine so that you guys can see it too. And we're going to run these through. And then I want to do the onion skin if I can fit it in this video, which I hope that I can. Nobody move. There is a tray, but I didn't put it on because it wouldn't fit on my desk. So it kind of sucks itself through as it goes. I will link a far better machine than this machine. This machine is super old and super big, clunky, whatever. There is a tray that attaches back there in the back, but I don't put it on because it wouldn't fit on my desk. So there's that. And the goal is for you to feed it through straight. The only good thing with a 12 by 12 is that you can go a little crooked and it still goes through. So it is sucking all of the air out and laminating. And you know how it's frosted here? Like it's frosted with my fingers. When it comes out, it's completely see-through. So there's that. And we'll talk about what we can make out of these things that we made in this video. Sorry, a little bit longer video because I was waiting. I preheated, but I was waiting for it to get hot again. So we're going to go right in with just the flowers next. And the only thing I see is I didn't really leave myself a ton of room in between. So I want to make one quick little edit and just yank these down just a little bit. Yeah, just one little quick edit, she says. There we go. This guy too. Okay, and we're going to feed just the flowers through now. Don't move. Nobody move. Everybody behave. Oh, you are sliding. Quit sliding. And there, this one is done. And we're going to let this one feed through. And so I'm going to make several projects with the laminated flowers and the laminator. You'll see a video today and a video tomorrow. In fact, I could have split this one into several days, but I just didn't want to overwhelm you guys with the lamination videos. So I did a couple all together here. We got a little crinkle here because it got caught. It's okay. I will run it through again. If you do have any error, like it's not really a big deal, but there is a little ripple right there. Running it through a second time, we'll take that out. So we're good to go with that. I really love the dried flowers. The dried flowers are what make this project. Yes, I used some awesome scraps, whatever, but the dried flowers are amazing. And I know you can get cheaper flowers on Amazon, whatever. I'm not linking flowers from Amazon because the Amazon flowers I do not like. They come from China. They're very low quality. They break very easy. Most of the time when you get them from Amazon, they are already broken because, you know, they have to ship all the way from China. And so just keep in mind, you know, not everything, although I love Amazon for many things, not everything from Amazon is the best quality. So you really do want, if you're going to do projects like this, A, you want the selection of flowers from NaturesPressed, and B, you want the quality. Otherwise, it's just very frustrating to work with. So if you've ever worked with dried flowers and they keep breaking, or you get them and they're all just crunched up, again, it's quality of flower. So see how it was kind of warped right here and now it is not. Again, I just ran it through a second time. It smooths it all out. So let's talk about these because these are done. You could run it through again if you wanted. I don't think we need to, but I'm going to trim around these and turn these ones into just tags. So I will do a hole reinforcer, a hole punch here, and these will just be tags. They all have their flowers on the front. All of the papers are authentic antique papers, rag paper, whatever. The back is just your regular, you know, rag paper stuff. Letters, whatever back here. I may run this through one more time. We'll see. But these will just be tags with hole reinforcers. You can sew around your tags if you want to as another decorative element. I might not. I don't know. But these ones here, I have a different project in mind for these. These, I will be showing you the project tomorrow, how we're going to do these. You could just turn these into tags too. But I think that I have a better project in mind for these tomorrow. So again, I would cut around them, but I'm going to do that part tomorrow when we use them. I'm going to sit here and laminate a ton of flowers, and then I will be back and we'll do another video. I'm going to run this one through again just because I can. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me for part one, I guess. I showed you how to do laminated clusters with dried flowers. Tomorrow, we will work with some more dried flowers and some more lamination things. All right, guys, have a good day. See you tomorrow.